welcome into another edition of Jags and Jack. Preseason primer, baby. We're finally back in the studio. Kate got some new stuff up, as you can kind of tell in the background.
Wall's looking good.
Yeah.
It's looking real good.
Absolutely. Eric and Kate back for another adventure. And, sorry it's been so long since we've gotten back, but, different schedules and, I've been hopping around between jobs and, all sorts of fun things. So
Todd Snyder once saying I was in between jobs when I found this one. So I thought I'd throw that out there.
There you go. But no, we're back to talk some preseason football. We talk a little bit about the Jaguars All-25, celebrating 25 years of Jaguars football. Gonna see if we get a couple questions coming in through the chat or on Facebook or whatever the case may be. But we'll kind of keep an eye out for those type of things.
Yep.
But I think we'll kind of dive right into what the roster is kind of looking like, what we've seen from training camp so far, and what we're kind of looking for from, each individual player, each individual position group. We'll kind of break it down a little bit. Try not to take up too much time on that, but we'll try and break it down a little bit.
Sure. Yeah. Starter projections. Fun stuff.
Yeah. Sounds good. We'll even go through the schedule maybe a little bit if we got a little time.
That part makes me sad.
It's going to be tough to go through a little bit and figure out.
We'll get there when we get there.
Yeah, exactly.
We did that last year, and I felt like we did
there
it.
We go. Now I'm back. My mic wasn't on. There we go.
Was it muted? I thought it sounded a little echoey.
It sounded a little weird. Okay, there we go. I'm back now.
If you could hear him, great. If you couldn't, then you can now. So
sorry,
be thankful.
I'm here now. Sorry.
Last year, as far as the schedule goes, we went through roughly this time of year, one of our first shows, and optimism was plentiful.
Yes.
After a righteous 2017 season, where we took the Patriots to the brink of extinction in the AFC Championship game, and this year there's a lot of prove it to me kind of attitude mentality, and there should be,
we're right back there again.
The biggest difference between this year and years past is very clear. It's number 7 under center, Nick Foles, former Super Bowl MVP. We hope that he's the answer. I don't know why anybody would root against him. If you want the team to be successful, then it
certainly not if you're a Jags fan.
God, no.
But,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, shoot, I've heard plenty of people from mainstream media that are kind of questioning, should they have given him all that money? He did all his damage in the playoffs. Carson Wentz did all the heavy work in the regular season.
He single-handedly, and you can't tell me otherwise, single-handedly saved their season last season.
Yeah, absolutely. They wouldn't have made the playoffs if it wasn't for him.
No, they were a slippery slope downhill, and Wentz, what was it?
He took over week 14, I think.
It was about, and they literally had to win every game to make it.
Yes.
And then they still had to have help.
Yep.
And they got lucky.
And
they got it.
Yep.
But we'll dive into that a little bit. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about the rumblings coming out of camp. Training camp is underway. Football's back, baby. First thing we got to do, celebrate that. We got to toast up a little something here. This is actually courtesy of my good buddy Brandon, who's a guest to the show a couple of times. This is a travel exclusive Jack Daniel's Bottled in Bond. This is a 100 proof black label Jack Daniel's, and
it's gonna be saucy.
We salute you, real man of genius.
Cheers.
Cheers. And that goes down entirely too smooth.
Way too smoothly. Oh, goodness.
That's
dangerous.
Absolutely too dangerous.
Yeah, I'm just going to put that.
Yeah. Go ahead and set that one aside. Aside from that, I kind of screwed around and didn't come up with an idea for a drink of the week, which is a gosh darn shame. So, improvised. Yeah, it's true. Improvised last minute and threw some Jack in with some lemon, lime, Zevia bitters and a little extra lime juice to go on top of it.
It's actually quite tasty.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
Yeah.
Not bad. It's very refreshing. One would hold their pinky up whilst drinking from the cup.
Little spritzer, cleanse the palate.
Exactly.
Grape upon Frank
Dan. So we did a live show on my birthday a little over a week ago, and we talked very briefly about what you were most excited to see during training camp and into the preseason, of course.
Yes.
So you answered the question primarily offense, but you've had a chance to think about it. So I want to start this program off by getting back to that question, and I want you to elaborate a little bit.
Okay.
Is it still just the offense as a whole? Is it individual positional battles? What, Eric Vinson, are you most looking forward to throughout training camp and the preseason ahead of the Jacksonville Jaguars' 25th season in the NFL?
So it's, for me, the offense is still kind of the point of emphasis. I wouldn't say that anything has kind of changed in between when we did the show on your birthday and now.
Sure.
However, from the little things I've seen, the tweets, the articles, whatever the case may be, that I've seen recently have said that, honestly, the defense is looking better than what most kind of expected.
Which says a lot.
It does. It does. Because you're looking at it and you're like, okay, the D-line's solid, the cornerbacks are solid. But what else? We're missing Telvin. Miles Jack is still kind of a question mark with the middle linebacker position, so we don't know how he's going to perform with that. The safeties, we've got two unproven safeties back there. Ronnie Harrison, who's a hoss. I have every bit of confidence in him.
A lot of upside.
And Jared Wilson, who we have no clue about, really.
Not really, no.
So, but different things that I've heard, specifically from Jalen Ramsey, which the dude's a smart dude. Guy knows his football. So I'm not going to shake a stick at that. He said he's talking about Harrison and Wilson, two of the smartest guys that he's ever played football with. And he's played with some smart dudes. He played with Telvin on that FSU team.
Played with Derwin James.
Played with Derwin James, too, who's also a hoss, by the way. I wish we had him.
Oh, yeah.
But he's saying they're two of the smartest players he's ever played with on defense, which is, I mean, that's saying just loads.
Absolutely.
D-line, like I said, looking good. The only real question mark after that, from everything I've read, is the linebackers. And it's mainly because we don't know what's going on with them.
Yeah.
Quincy Williams, we've heard good things about. He's performed above expectations.
Yeah. Yep.
But again, Telvin's gone. He's not coming back, at least for this season. Miles, don't know how he's going to do at the mic spot.
Boy, that's a slippery slope, and everything I've heard, just going into Miles Jack for a half second, I'll let you get back to it. A thought.
Yeah.
Is that he's been kind of head and shoulders above just about where every other linebacker's been on the team, and when he's not been out there, the difference has been catastrophic.
Yeah.
And so...
Well, because think about it. Who's our backup behind Miles right now? Like, what was it? Is it
Mike,
Jake Ryan?
At Mike, theoretically, is Jake Ryan, who's still on the PUP list.
Exactly.
And
so,
who I technically expect to come in and play strong side.
He's more athletic.
He is, and he's played strong side his entire career outside of being slated to play middle linebacker for Green Bay last year before he tore his ACL about this time last year.
Right.
But I think they like him better at Mike than they do Leon Jacobs. But Leon Jacobs still has a chance. The thing about strong side linebacker is that in the defense that we play, they're really only going to be on the field for first down.
Yeah.
Majority of the time.
Yeah.
And so that's not as pivotal of a position. But we got to hope. Miles Jack last year, only player on defense to play every single snap the entire season. And
it's a hell of a stat.
We need that again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hardcore.
Yeah.
Hardcore.
More than ever.
Yeah. Yeah. Last year we had a little more affordability for him to
of course. A little bit more depth
until we took a dump on the season. But, that was beside the point. But carry on, sir. I'm sorry.
No. That was good interjection there. But honestly, I think going back to that little intro we had for your birthday there.
I don't have my crazy straw. Anymore. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. True.
But no, if we're going by position groups, I would say the two position groups that I'm most concerned about are linebackers and wide receivers.
Yeah, that's fair.
Just because there's just kind of a question mark. We don't really know what's going on there. Chris Conley has looked good.
Yep. His shown flashes. When the pads go on, that's going to be more important and a lot more interesting.
Yes. Even the O-line, I'm not really all that worried about. Like, we got a lot of guys coming back from injury.
They got to stay healthy.
But that's really the only thing. Like, they just got to stay healthy. That's all it is.
We learned last year what it's like to have an injury-plagued offensive line.
God. Yes.
Man, it almost makes me want to cry thinking about it.
I was about to say, it's like a movie, The Replacements.
A moment of silence for our 2018 Jacksonville Jaguars offensive line. Pour one out for him, brother. Anyway. Yeah, I'm with you, though. Offensive line, not as much of a concern.
But yeah, exactly. So
provided they stay healthy.
But think about wide receivers. So we've got Marquise Lee, and he's our number 1. I don't know how to feel about. Like, you ask anybody, and he's our number 1.
Yes.
If the only other person that would be thrown in that category would be D.D. Westbrook.
Yeah, I don't think he even starts the season number 1. I'm going to be very honest with you. I think they really want to use him naturally in the slot, which is where
that's his true position.
It's a true position, and he does a great job with it. Understand he wants to play outside.
Yes.
But coming from Michael Duraco of Espen, the mothership.
Old Duraco.
He was saying, as far as observations go in training camp, that top 3 guys have been almost a lock as far as extremely productive. Has been Westbrook, Conley, and DJ Chark actually had a really good day today, from what I heard, making some pretty gnarly catches in the back of the end zone from Nick Foles, something that they couldn't find last year. They also had a quarterback who couldn't throw the ball 5 yards last year.
That's also true.
After
I don't know
week 4, so.
Just to interject, I don't know if anybody has been watching the Twitter videos or Instagram videos or anything that the official Jaguars handles have been putting out, but
it's been a lot of fun.
Oh dear God, he can throw a spiral,
dude. Like, I never thought I would see the day where I got to the point where I was excited just to see a quarterback do what he's supposed to be able to do.
Right. I mean, the last one that we had that provided some sort of like spark and excitement was David Garrard.
Yeah.
And think about how long ago David Garrard was.
I'll argue that 15, Blake Bortles' second year in the league.
Okay, you're right. I'm sorry.
I mean, but they couldn't do anything outside of garbage time, but, I mean, when they did, it was fun.
The football around, he was looking good.
It was fun, yeah. He was actually looking good, and we're like, man, this is what we got. This guy's really coming along. We're looking towards the future.
He's going to be good, yeah.
And he comes into the next year and just takes a dump all over himself. And then he comes in 2017 and starts the year a little shaky, but actually has a pretty good year, especially there was a 4-week span in November, December, that we're all thinking, man, if this is what Blake is going to be.
Into the playoffs and everything else.
Yeah, into the playoffs, aside from the Bills game.
Right.
But we forgave him for that really quickly after we beat the Steelers.
Absolutely.
And he actually was having a very good game against the Patriots, and the coaching staff, shame on them, decided that they were going to rein it in and just try to drain the clock, and they couldn't run the ball, and it cost them, in the end, a trip to the Super Bowl, and we're still bitter about it to this day.
Not as bitter as the 99 team, but
I'll forever be bitter about that because I hate the Titans, and I will always hate the Titans.
Yes.
And I have a special place in my heart that is some energy I put forth sending them straight into the deep, dark bowels of hell.
Yes.
As far as I'm concerned.
I'm really hoping I can make it to that Thursday night game, man. Cause,
I hope so, too.
Yeah.
No Taylor Lewan. He's juicing, man.
Again, we talked about this. We almost feel bad a little bit for Taylor Lewan.
I do to a certain extent. But.
Just because like the NFL kind of gives the players the shaft on this.
They do.
But
any competitive advantage, any competitive advantage against the Titans, man, I'll take it.
Oh, right.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Anytime Steve McNair twisted his ankle, man, I know this is not a nice thing to say.
Yeah,
but
I was about to say, he's 6 feet under at this point, man. You gotta be somewhat nice now.
He is. And a lot of people feel bad for him, but he was, my grandpa said something. So if a lot of you people don't know what the story with Steve McNair was, is he was screwing around with a mistress.
Yep. Running around his old lady.
And I think what ended up happening is that somebody got a little bitter, and so somebody shot somebody and then shot themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And my grandpa's got a famous saying, the screwing you get for the screwing you got. And
something to that.
There's something to that.
Something to that.
Was he a great football player? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Especially coming from where he came from. Alcorn State, shoot. That's not exactly a pro football factory.
Yeah, I wish they would have stuck his ass up in the Northwest, though, man, having to deal with him in our division. pretty much sunk the ship of one of the greatest Jaguars teams of all time.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But I will shift that question to you, good sir. Offensive line, wide receivers. Mm-hmm. Those are the two groups that I'm kind of on.
I like it.
Any other thoughts? Any different groups?
Yeah,
players?
I'm gonna kind of go back slightly to what I said before, and maybe just elaborate slightly. I said before, right tackle is very interesting to me, and that Cedric Ogbuehi.
Is it Ogbuehi? Is it Abuhi? Is it? I don't know.
Ogbuehi is what I've heard from the official sources.
Okay, all right.
But open to interpretation. He's not actually put anything out there that says,
That's okay. We'll wait until the first actual preseason game.
Yeah, as soon as the announcers butcher the crap out of it, we'll know exactly what it is.
And then we won't take responsibility.
No. Then it's no longer our responsibility if that's the case.
The professionals screwed it up. It's not ours.
Yeah, no. They get paid lots of money to know how to say that the right way. So, sorry, I had a burp there. So Cedric Ogbuehi, Jawan Taylor. Cedric Ogbuehi has actually had, from what folks say, as far as you can tell without pads on, has actually had a very good training camp so far. And they were fairly impressed with him in minicamp and OTAs as well, which says a lot. Former number one overall pick, cast out Cincinnati Bengals. The guy was a turnstile up there at right tackle.
Or was he just a first-round pick?
First-round pick. Just a first-round pick. I don't remember the exact pick that he was in the first round. I'll verify that for you at a later time. If you actually give a damn, I'll verify for you later on. If not, then Eric's on it right now, matter of fact. So Cedric Ogbuehi has been much better. Jawan Taylor is your first pick in the second round. They traded up to pick the guy out of Florida. There was lots of rumors going around that the Jags would consider picking him in the first round. Clearly that didn't happen because we have two teams that picked ahead of us that we still just can't quite get over the fact that Cleveland Farrell and Daniel Jones were better picks than Josh Allen. But
I got nothing on that one.
Yeah, I'm not one to judge too heavily, I suppose. But the expectation being that it's going to be a pretty good battle. It's gone well so far. I think that, especially based off of last year, what we dealt with the offensive line, you can't really have too many good offensive linemen. Depth in the NFL on the offensive line is an illusion. Usually you get 5 pretty solid guys up front, and as soon as one guy gets hurt, you're lucky to have at least one more that's worth a damn.
21st overall.
21st, but still
by the Bengals at a Texas A&M, by the way, not Texas.
Which is
Texas A&M.
Texas A&M is an offensive line factory as far as I'm concerned.
It is
outside of Luke Jokel,
which we found out firsthand.
Yeah, we found out unfortunately in a bad manner on that one. Ooh. But I'm excited about that one. Right tackle is a big one for me. I think in the first couple of preseason games, I'm really going to be focused on that. Other one,
tight end's another intriguing position.
Is a very interesting one.
I wouldn't say it's necessarily one I'm worried about. I was worried about it going into the draft, but I'm not worried about it. It's just an intriguing position because we have a lot of names there.
I would agree. I think that ultimately what's going to happen is Jeff Swaim and Josh Oliver are going to be your two starters with, I think, if I got to choose a third guy, I think Ben Koyak makes the roster as the third guy. They cut him at one point last year, and I think they paid the price for it because he's a little bit more of a natural blocking tight end than he is a catching tight end.
And he's really the only guy that we have that's more of a blocking tight end than a catching tight end. Which,
agreed.
Our offensive system needs, I know.
Agreed. No, I agree with you 100%.
I know we need guys that are vertical threats that can run the routes and go down the field, but, we also need guys that we can stick, possibly at fullback or H-back or whatever the case may be, and, run the football kind of thing.
I'm with you. No, I'm with you 110%. And I think that's my 3 picks as far as the tight end position goes.
I like it.
I'm down for it. I think that I want to see a lot more of it in the preseason. I think you will.
Yes.
I really do.
Yes.
I said this before as well. Quincy Williams at the weak side linebacker is very intriguing to me.
Yes.
Doug Marrone said in his press conference yesterday that he, quote unquote, this is sort of...
We're kind of paraphrasing.
Paraphrasing slightly, but quote unquote, paraphrase sideways, up and down. Said that he knows he's going to piss a lot of people off when he says this, but Quincy Williams is easily the fastest person on the field when they are out there running drills.
And pardon all the kids out here, but double birds to NFL Network, to ESPN, everybody, because Quincy Williams is actually good.
Listen,
Eat it.
and I'm telling you something right now, too. When the time comes that they are going to sing his praises, because I know it's going to come.
It's going to happen.
Hold on, I'm going to adjust my volume because I think it's like a little too loud on this part right here. And if I was,
as opposed to me, which started off completely vacant.
Yeah, and if I was, then I'm sorry. If we both were, then it is what it is. Sorry. Anyways, yeah, when it gets to that point, then you best believe I saved my receipts. I took screenshots.
Oh, yes.
I saved my receipts.
Oh, yes.
Just like man, one of my favorite receipt saves of all time. So right before the playoff game against the Steelers in 2017, I was talking some smack with some Steelers fans on Twitter. Only natural. I got
used.
I got
trouble with that at the regular season game. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
It's fair. I got used and abused a little bit as far as some of the crap I was talking, and they were really letting me have it. So I backed off naturally because I'm not one to just sit there and try to fight off a horde of mongoloids. But they got to the point where I quit, and you know what? I saved those receipts, though, because as soon as that game was over and we were kind of pouring it on there a little bit, I let them know. Let them know. And guess what? None of them had nothing to say.
No.
Nothing to say.
Oh, what happened? Maybe I'm supposed to be great. Big Messes.
He was supposed to be.
A-B. And then he left us for Oakland.
So guess what, folks? Moral of the story, save your receipts when people try to talk trash, and maybe you'll get to use it against them.
And then flip them the double birds.
But you know what, man? I am excited for Quincy Williams. I think that he is going to be a star at that position. And guess what? If Telvin decides he wants to come back and Quincy has played really well, they're going to save themselves a lot of money.
Absolutely.
They're going to save themselves a lot of money.
You can vouch for this, man. From day one, from when he was drafted, I was like, you know what? I like the tape on this guy. He looks good.
Yeah. We both said it. Well, first of all, he got drafted, and I didn't know who the heck it was.
I didn't know who the heck it was either.
I don't think anybody did. That's been the hate, though.
Normally, anybody out of Murray State, you're kind of like, I'm sorry, who?
Yeah, but whoever put together his highlight reel is the real MVP.
Yes.
Because, man.
Primo tape. Yeah. Absolutely.
Everything that we saw in that 2.5-minute video was...
Dude is running around. Great pursuit. Dude, and again, dude is fast. Like, that was what the coaching staff was saying. He is fast.
He really is.
And that's how Telvin plays. Like, Telvin is fast.
Shot out of a cannon, man.
Exactly. Like, you would never know that he plays a linebacker other than the fact that he's, built like a brick wall. But, there's that too.
It helps. Very physical, though.
Yes. So, look, mark my words. This guy is going to be good. The number 2 option that I'm telling you this guy is going to be good is Uncle Rico himself, Gardner Minshew III. He is going to be our backup quarterback. He may not ever get the starting job, but he's going to be a Rob Johnson, Jay Fiedler type of quarterback, and he is going to be the primo backup quarterback for if/when Nick Foles gets hurt and we have to throw someone into the fire. And he'll perform well, and we'll end up shipping off we'll get a first-round pick out of it.
And I'm going to tell you the same thing I think I told you yesterday is I hope that's the case. I hope he never has to see the field.
I hope he never has to see the field, yes. Like, that is the best way to put it for any backup, really.
Of course.
Especially at the quarterback position.
You never want your backup to have to see the field, especially if it's for performance reasons, as the reason Cody Kessler had to play last year.
That's right, of
which
course.
was an absolute bummer.
An abomination.
Yeah, it wasn't good. No. It was. I'm still.
Kudos to Kessler.
Sad about that.
At least he stuck it out, man. Like
he did.
He was a trooper through the whole thing.
He was.
Who did he get signed by?
I don't know.
I forget who signed him.
Hopefully no one.
I know he got signed by somebody, man.
I know.
I don't know if it was the Jets or whoever it was. The Jets is just sticking out of my mind, but
seems like a Jets kind of thing.
It does, doesn't it?
Oh shit.
But that's all right. What was that, man?
It was a Band-Aid.
A Band-Aid? Oh,
yeah, don't worry about it.
That's all right.
I hurt myself the other day.
Oh, yeah.
Johnny Cash. I hurt myself today.
It's okay. We were talking about your birthday off air.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that was some fun. The bruises and
scrapes.
Yeah,
we all seem to have woken up the next day with some injuries of sorts.
Yeah.
And
Hangover 2.0.
I wasn't even hung over that bad.
No,
I was
wasn't
just
either.
sore, and I couldn't remember why I was sore. It took me 2 days to remember that when we were playing some beer pong that I went to celebrate and slipped and fell on my side.
Oh yeah, dude, I don't remember that.
Didn't hurt at the time. didn't hurt at the time.
Right. I don't even remember that.
Hurt very badly the next day.
Like I said, I couldn't. At one point in time, I know I pushed myself out of the pool and I sat on my butt and I knew my cheek hurt at some point.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened with that. So,
Generally the way it works out at a good old shindig there.
Especially at a Kate Stevens birthday party.
Oh,
we've had a couple of those already.
We've had a few. We've had a few.
One in Boston. Boston one was good.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun, man.
I would do that again.
I would do that in a heartbeat.
I hate the Patriots, but man, love Boston. Boston's great.
Nice people, man. Nice people.
Absolutely.
Question.
Anyway, yeah.
So, we've gone through the NFL Top 100. They're doing it a little different this year. I don't know if you noticed.
I did not. I don't have the NFL Network, so I unfortunately don't get to watch, but I see the recaps kind of thing.
So the way they decided to do it this year is they are doing every single night, as opposed to they normally start it.
They did it in a weekly thing last year.
Yeah, they did it on a weekly thing. They'd start it in May or June, and then they'd run it weekly, basically coinciding with the end coming up to when preseason would begin.
Makes sense.
Which was nice because it gives you something to do in the off season when there's literally nothing to do.
Yeah, no kidding. Watching old games, Super Bowl 30. Go Giants!
I know, right? Which I'm all right with. It's still fun.
Of course.
I found out that they got all of the Football Lives on Amazon Prime Video, and I fell into that rabbit hole the other day.
I'm definitely going to have to take advantage of that.
I'd highly recommend it. No, I'm just throwing that out there. But they're doing it nightly now. So they're started. Shoot, what are they on now? They just did last night.
They did
21 through 30.
Oh, did they do 21 through 30?
21 through 30 last night because Jalen Ramsey came in at 27.
That's right.
10 spots down from last year.
Because I remember my boy Derwin James came in at 31.
Yes, he did.
Which I was going from not ranked at all because obviously you're a rookie to 31.
Yeah. Woo, pretty darn good, man.
Woo. And I know old Colin Cowherd got so irritated when Baker Mayfield was up ahead of, I think it was up ahead of Big Ben or somebody else or something like that. But
Baker gave him some mad crap one good time, and ever since then he's got like a vendetta against him.
The fact, I'm going to go on a minor Baker Mayfield rant. Baker Mayfield is a good quarterback. He's a solid quarterback, man. Like, I don't care what anybody says. Solid quarterback. You can be the hardest of Steelers fans out there. You can be a Ravens fan. You can be whoever you are. He is a good quarterback. He is what the Browns needed. They needed someone to be the boss. And honestly, and it was Cowherd that said this not too long ago. He is the boss in Cleveland right now.
He really is.
It goes,
and he's got a good personality.
Mayfield, the GM, John Dorsey, and then Freddie Kitchens, who's the head coach right now. And, that's how it goes right now. You don't F with Baker Mayfield right now, baby.
No.
He is going to be the savior in Cleveland. Mark my words, especially with the fact that they have multiple running backs. They have a playmaking wide receiver in OBJ. Whether you like him or not, that's another discussion as well. But Cleveland is going to be good. Mark my words, they may not win the division this year. They might not even make the playoffs this year. But it's coming. The Steelers are going to be in the cellar before too long because they don't know how to run the team. They don't know how to do it anymore. So
the NFL, I think, thinks that the Browns are going to be better than what the Browns are going to be because the Browns have,
at least this season,
they have 3 or 4 primetime games in the first 6 weeks of the season, which is
ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, listen, for a team that's a little unproven, I get that it's flashy on paper and I get who they have.
Right.
But
then again, let's look at the Jaguars and let's look at who we got. We got Jalen Ramsey, who runs his mouth all the time.
Who's, one of
the
best to do it since Chad Ochocinco.
Exactly. And backs it up too. It's not like T.O. or Ochocinco towards the end of their careers where they just ran their mouths nonstop and
Batman
crap on the
and
field.
Robin. I will say one of my favorite things of all time about Ochocinco, and I really looked forward to it as a kid, watching this guy play, was the burn list. was every week
yes.
the media would meet him at his locker on about Wednesday or Thursday. He would call him over.
He would have it.
And he had the burn list. If he got somebody good the week before, man, he'd put him on the burn list.
Yep.
And it was I miss that part of the NFL. I feel like players are too scrutinized these days.
And that's who Jalen Ramsey is.
That's who he is.
That's who he is.
I
he is
love
an
it.
old school guy. And that's why Prime likes him so much. That's why Deion Primetime Sanders likes him so goddamn much, because he is basically Prime 2.0. Jalen said it too. He's Prime 2.0.
That's why he's 2.0, man.
So watch out for that. Don't give him crap.
I like it, man. I like it a lot.
Yeah. Minor Baker Mayfield, right? I like the guy.
Oh, I like it too. I forgot what I was going to ask you, to be honest.
I don't know either.
You want to run through the top 25?
Sure. Let's roll through it, man.
So
why not?
I'll list them off, and if I list you one that you think does not belong in that particular place, then let me know, and let me know why you think that, or if you have any fond memories. Same. Just let me know.
Sure.
Let me know what your memory may be, and let me know why that person was important to you, sir. Yeah. So, all right. So we're gonna start at number 25. We have guard Chris Naoli.
Love that guy.
Yeah, Chris.
Love that guy.
Chris.
May he rest in power.
Yeah, Chris Naoli and Vince Manawai, who's also on this list, best guard tandem we've ever had.
Was it Chris Naoli passed away, right?
No, it was Vince Manawai.
It was Vince Manawai. I'm sorry, I got both of them mixed up. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Number 24, Jacksonville Jaguars legend, Joel Smingy.
Look, I love Joel Smingy. Was one of the great linebackers we had. They categorized him as defensive end, but I look at him as a linebacker.
That's fair. That's fair. With the way that he was utilized, I get it.
He was one of those hybrids. Like, he was a hybrid before the hybrid was even, like, a thing.
Yeah.
So, shoot, I'm looking at this. He was only with us for 5 seasons. He had 34 sacks. 5 seasons, 34 sacks? That's bananas.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's pretty darn good. And he was with us through the highlights, man. 95 to 2000.
Yes.
95
the good years. The good years.
Joel Smingy. We still see Smingy jerseys around Everbank Field every now and then.
Oh,
TIA Bank Field, sorry. Number 23, the hero himself, David Garrard.
Look, I think everybody's favorite moment. Well, I take that back. There are 2 of my favorite moments with David Garrard. The one that sticks out to everyone's mind,
of course,
is the Steelers playoff game.
Garrard's gonna run with it.
He's got room. He's all the way down the. Oh my God! Just
Al Michaels call, John
call
Madden.
by Al Michaels with John Madden. I think that was the last season John Madden was in the booth too, which was great, or one of the last seasons.
Yeah, it was one of the last few.
So that was incredible. And then the other one, the Hail Mary.
Of course.
The Hail Mary to beat the Texans.
At that game.
I was so jealous. I wish I was
at that game.
I wish I was at that game. I remember watching it on TV, and I'm like, look, the Jaguars are going to pull the same old Jaguars crap here. We're going to lose. It sucks. We lost to the freaking Texans again.
Yep.
And then they pull that crap out, and I'm like, what just happened?
I know.
What just happened?
We were taking Cardiac Cat's form again that year.
Yes.
We had the Josh Scobie 59-yard field goal just a few weeks after the David Garrard Hail Mary.
Yes.
That was amazing.
I thought, that was an incredible year. And Garrard, just an incredible quarterback. One of the few that we've had.
One of the few, yeah.
Yeah.
22, we got G-Funk, Gary Walker, defensive
Walker.
end.
Oh, man.
Didn't spend a ton of time with us.
No.
Outstanding defensive end. Mean guy.
46 out of 47 games he started?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's pretty darn good.
Nobody does that anymore.
Not a lot.
No.
Not a lot.
No.
Was it 40 tackles for loss and 22 and a half sacks between... He played 3 years for us, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're right. He didn't spend long with us.
No, I want to say it was 99, 2000, and 2001.
I think you're right. That sounds about right.
So not bad.
Yeah.
Pretty darn good.
Yeah.
And speaking of the Cardiac Cat himself, at number 21, we got Josh Scobie.
Scobie-Dobie-Doo.
I think everybody's favorite kicker.
God, he's the greatest, isn't he? Like, even not as a kicker, like, just as a human being, like, he's almost like Pat McAfee. And the fact that I like Pat McAfee is
I do.
Just,
I hate the Colts, but I really like him.
Like, that's what's the word I'm looking for? Pariah, something like that. Anyway. That's crazy in itself. The fact that I actually like a Colts player. However,
I know. We're tired, but still.
We're tired. But yeah, Pat McAfee, Josh Scobie, they're along the same lines. They're cool dudes. Like, Josh Scobie golfs. Josh Scobie will, hang out and drink beer and he still has a family and all that good stuff. Like,
He's
awesome.
He's a good guy. He's a good follow on Twitter and Instagram
Yes.
if you have not done so. I believe it's at Josh Goby-Twin, if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely. 8-time winner of AFC Special Teams Player of the Week award. One of 2 kickers in franchise history to make 20 consecutive field goals.
And you know what the crazy thing is? I think the other guy is Josh Lambo.
Which is funny.
Yeah.
And
Because he's amazing.
I was about to say, Lambo is quick. He's becoming freaking Scobie 2.0.
He's literally Scobie 2.0.
Yeah.
Like, that's not an argument. Don't at me. I don't want to hear it.
Don't at me. No, don't do it.
That was 21.
Mm-hmm.
We are number 20 then, Mr. Aaron
And
Beasley.
it was funny. When this guy came up, I was like, man, they couldn't have made him 21 because he wore 21? Like, come on. Like,
I know.
that was what irritated me most about the whole thing. But still, like, this one of the better corners that we've had on our squad.
Agreed.
Obviously the best. We'll get to him later on, but Aaron Beasley, drafted him out of the 3rd round. I believe it was University of Florida product. But
And he stayed out of trouble, which is unusual for that school.
Absolutely. I mean,
This is me sipping my Kermit tea.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's none of my business.
That's none of my business, boy.
Right. Yeah.
And
that
again,
was outstanding.
don't at me about the FSU crap. I know I went to FSU. We have our own brand of problems. However,
every
Florida
school's got
still
their
has
own brand of problems. But the guy was awesome, man. Led the NFL in interception yards, 200, and interception touchdowns, 2 in 1999.
200 yards with interception, like that's.
He did.
That's incredible.
And he had 2 picks of Dan Marino in the divisional
Yeah,
playoff
he
game.
did. Woo!
So I'm just throwing that out there.
Send him out in style. Bye, Danny boy.
I'm just throwing that out there, man. That was number 21. Number 20, we got Mike Pete, man. Mike Peterson, middle linebacker, free agent pickup from the Indianapolis Colts. And did he hold a grudge against that team?
Yes.
Like there was never anybody's business.
And honestly, I think he might. Kevin Hardy, I think, was another guy that might have been my favorite linebacker. But I think Mike Peterson keeps the edge. Just because we signed him away from the Colts, and man, did he want to wreck the Colts every time.
Boy, he showed up on Colts Sunday.
Plus,
he really did.
And he was one of those under-the-radar free agency signings. Like, he was not talked about a ton.
No.
And, when he came in, like, God, did he just join in 2003, started all 16 games, team leading 3 interceptions that year. I mean, 132 total tackles in 2005, and only got 2nd team All-Pro. Get out of here.
Yeah, a little wild, man.
But, Mike Peterson was one of my favorite, if not my favorite, linebacker that we've ever had on the squad.
I'm with you. Yeah, Mike Pete, hell of a guy. Still, I don't even know what to say, man. I miss that sort of presence. We had it with another linebacker that'll show up on this list, and we'll talk about him when we get there.
Yes.
Coming up next, Vince Manawai, God rest his soul.
Yeah, he rests in power.
One of the best guards we ever had. Like I said earlier, Chris Naoli and Vince Manawai, leading the charge on that 2007 Jacksonville Jaguars playoff team that could run the ball on just about anybody.
Yeah, only missed 1 game during his first 5 seasons with the team. Like those are big stats right there. They rushed for over 2,500 yards, in 2006, and then almost 2,500 yards in 2007. I mean, that's crazy.
That's outstanding, man. Big
but
Vince.
Those were the big times right there with Freddie T and Mojo in the backfield.
Yep.
Those were the good times.
Freddie and Maurice, man. It was just hard to beat that.
Yep. By the way, if anybody hasn't checked these videos out, even if you're not really a huge Jaguars fan, go to Jaguars.com. Go and check out the 25 Seasons tab up there and click on the All 25 team because these videos, excellent. Shout out to the Jaguars PR staff because, good God almighty, these are great. I've gotten goosebumps every time I've watched.
Whoever put them together, I highly recommend it.
Absolutely. I've watched every single one of them so far, and I've gotten goosebumps every time.
Yeah, they've been outstanding.
Yeah.
It really it gets you excited, and they really dive into the not only the influence but the effect that they had on the franchise and the community, and it's been very interesting. And honestly, going into the effect and the influence they've had on the community, this very next one of the bigger ones on the community, very reliable on the field. We've got number 80, Kyle Brady.
Look, my favorite tight end that we've had, and don't at me with that, because I know that there's some Mercedes Lewis fans out there still, and you know, I love Mercedes, but look, this guy was my absolute favorite. Both me and my mom's absolute favorite.
I love him.
He was an old school tight end. He reminded me of Jay Novacek. You remember Jay Novacek with the Cowboys?
I do.
He was another one of my favorite tight ends. Shout out to Julie, love you. Not a part-time Cowboys fan. I remember Jay Novacek. But he was just a great blocking tight end. They highlighted that in his video as well. The best blocking tight end that we've had. And then, oh, by the way, he knew how to catch the football also. And that was really what we needed with those particular teams that he was there.
Very intelligent guy.
Absolutely.
Very, very intelligent.
We weren't a huge passing team at that point. We were very focused on running the football.
Absolutely.
So
it's been a Jaguars thing for as long as we've been a team, man.
Yeah.
Run the ball and stop the run. Play good defense.
Yeah.
And that's going to lead us into the next one. I believe this is 16, 17?
Where are we at now?
Double D.
Hold on. Yeah, we're at 16 right
16.
now. 16.
Number 16, Double D, Donovan Davis.
Look, love this guy.
Dude.
Love this guy.
Dude, he was the champ, man.
You looked out for Donovan Darius.
You did.
He was that
You
Ronnie,
coming across the middle? You want some of this?
He was that Ronnie Lott type of safety, baby. Like, you better watch out. Like, he'll dump you.
Yeah.
And he will not feel bad about it.
No.
So, look, the fact that he was a Jaguars draft pick, we got him at the end of the first round, too. End of the first round?
Yeah, 25th overall.
Shoot.
1998.
Shoot. 98 to 2006. All 16 games, 4 seasons.
That's impressive.
Jeez,
especially
man.
with the type of physical corner that he was.
Yes. Like, he
Corner,
went out
safety.
and...
Sorry.
Yeah, safety. It's okay.
My bad.
Defensive back.
You know what I
He
mean.
went out and thumped your ass. Like, look up some Donovan Darius highlights. Like, seriously, go on YouTube. They're out there. Go find them. And, oh, man, you'll get goosebumps. You'll get geeked up. You'll want to throw on a helmet and shoulder pads. I tell you right now, it's going to happen.
Do yourself a favor. You're going to want to find a wall to run through. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely.
That's going to lead us down to number 15.
Here's my boy.
Mr. Eric.
Here's my boy.
Speaking of a linebacker, he is not the
Yes.
last linebacker on this list,
He's
but
not.
one of the best outside
not.
linebackers to ever wear a Jacksonville Jaguars uniform. We got Kevin Hardy.
And the number 51, by the way.
Which is, you know,
A little bit of foreshadowing.
a little bit of foreshadowing. That's all I'm saying.
But yes, no, Kevin Hardy, and I know you're very close with the other guy who wore 51.
I am. And you know what? I got some family history with Kevin, too. Fun fact, not a lot of people know, Kevin Hardy was very well known around Jacksonville for house parties. And the guy was... Dude,
I know this story.
He threw some house parties. And, you know, my dad got to know him through some airline business. And he went over to a couple of his parties, but one in particular that my mom and my dad like to remind me about a time or two. Frequently. You know, is one of his house parties. He lived over in Queens Harbor and Jacksonville, and anybody who lives in Jacksonville probably knows where it is, off of Atlantic Boulevard. My mom's got a picture, I got to find it, of her standing between Kevin Hardy and Tony Brackens. And my mom's she's not a big lady. She's pretty small. And, boy, they just look like they could eat it for breakfast, man. Dwarfed her. Tiny, like twice the size. But some of the nicest people in the entire world as far as what I've heard from them.
It's funny how that goes.
That's
right?
the guy,
the
man.
biggest, meanest guys that you see out there on the football field, they end up being the nicest people outside of the football realm.
They do.
Which is pretty cool.
That they do. Kevin Hardy, man.
Number 2 pick overall in 96, the legendary 96 season. Named to the 96 all-rookie team. He led all linebackers in 99 with 10.5 sacks and was named All-Pro and to the Pro Bowl.
That was his year, man, 99.
And shoot, his Jags debut, and they touched on this in the video, against the Steelers. I believe this was the Super Bowl champion Steelers at this point as well. He recorded a sack and an interception in his Jaguars debut as a rookie.
That's amazing.
Against the champions.
That's amazing.
I mean, albeit it was against, I don't even know who their quarterback was.
Tommy Maddox, maybe? I think it was Cordell Stewart, maybe.
Maybe. I don't know. But I remember watching the highlight. I was like, who the hell is throwing the passes for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Dude, your guess would absolutely be as good as mine.
No kidding. I don't keep up on that crap history. But anyway, moving on.
Moving on to the best right tackle in Jacksonville Jaguars history, and I hope Juwan Taylor can change that. I really do. But in this case, we got Big Leon Searcy.
Oh, man. Leon Searcy was not flagged for a holding or false start penalty. Let that sit in for a hot second. We'll let that sit. Let's take a sip real quick. We'll let that sit.
I got to pour one out for that.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, pour that one out. We're still going to let it linger, and I'll repeat it just for you guys, just so you know. Cheers, man.
Because that's amazing.
Was not flagged for a holding or false start penalty ever. And he started all 63 games at right tackle during his 4-year tenure with the Jaguars. Wow. Just wow.
Yeah.
Absolutely the best that ever played that position.
Yeah, it's not even close right now.
No.
Yeah, as far as other right tackles go, like, it's not even close.
No,
it's not even. Like I said, I hope Juwan Taylor can really change that for me. But
big dude, athletic dude for a tackle.
He is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. But Big Leon, there's not another right tackle that comes close, man. There's not.
He's the man. Oh, and this guy. Guy coming up.
Mr. Jaguar, a lot of people like to call him, man, because the longevity, the reliability, and what he gave you at the position over the course of, how long was it? 14 seasons?
Yeah.
We got center Brad Meester.
Meester.
Dude, man, the guy was outstanding.
They found a diamond in the rough here with the center position. Like he was at left guard to start with, and then they moved him over to center. Like I don't even remember him at left guard because
I don't
he was
either.
Just such a great center.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, it sounds a lot like Brandon Linder, outside of the fact that Linder can't stay healthy. But
well, that's also true. But shoot, man.
Yeah.
That's 14 seasons with the Jaguars. Like you said, he's appeared in more games than anyone in Jaguars history. Very impressive. Very impressive.
It's pretty awesome.
Pro Bowl running backs, Maurice Jones-Drew and Fred Taylor.
That's awesome.
I mean, what more can you say about that?
What does it say?
He was a monster.
And one of his, I can't remember which game it was during the last season, they passed him the ball and thought that they could get him in the end zone, and he came up just short.
That sounds about right.
I can't remember which one it was, but we're moving on to what number is this?
We're on number 12.
Number 12. We've got Daryl Smith, another one of the best linebackers that we've ever had. Daryl, fun fact for you, Dave Caldwell said one of his biggest regrets of his tenure, outside of extending Blake Bortles, he didn't say that himself, but I'm going to go ahead and throw that out there. It was before they gave him the extension that he said this. But, yeah, I mean, one of his biggest, he said his biggest regret at the time that he was asked was cutting Daryl Smith when he did.
Yeah, and I would agree with that because I remember he went to the Cowboys, I think, after that.
He went to Baltimore.
He was to Baltimore?
Baltimore.
Mike Peterson.
Mike Peterson went to the Cowboys.
Yes.
Yep.
And Peterson actually had a couple good seasons with the Cowboys before he retired. But yeah, Daryl Smith was another one where you're just kind of watching him play and you're like, why'd we cut this dude?
Yeah.
Like, why'd we get rid of him? I understand the money factor, but
but I mean, we could. I don't know. It was a youth movement, but they didn't keep enough guys around to have a good influence on the youth that we had. And I think Daryl Smith would have been a pivotal piece.
I think he was out of Georgia Tech, if I'm not mistaken. And again, Georgia Tech, not a football factory.
No.
But the fact that he started 124 to 126 games in 9 seasons he played in Duval.
Absolutely outstanding.
Man.
Absolutely outstanding.
Man, oh man. And by the way, like he wrecked shop. He wrecked shop.
So the next two guys in a row are two of my favorite Jacksonville Jaguars of all time.
Yep.
I know there's a misconception as far as how certain people feel about the next guy, but dude, I'm telling you, one of the nicest people you'll ever meet, one of the most dedicated people you ever meet. Mm-hmm. If I could give the dude a hug, man, I would. And I've met him and I've shook his hand on more than one occasion.
He's your bigger, beefier clone, basically.
Yeah, basically. But my guy, man, Paul Posluszny.
coming in at number 11. I mean, originally drafted by the Buffalo Bills in 07. Good year, by the way.
Good year for us.
Yeah. Graduated high school in 2007. Makes me feel old.
High school?
Yeah, man.
Damn, dude, I was 2011.
That was when I graduated college.
Whoops.
Anyways,
pour one out to that.
No, 34th overall, second round pick from the Buffalo Bills. And, shoot, man. He had a better career with us than he did with Buffalo. Let's look at this. He appeared in 100 games in Duval. He posted almost 1,000 tackles. 1,000. 984. Second most in franchise
history. Did he ever lead the league in tackles? The part of me wants to say yes.
I feel like he did. But here's the other fun fact is the one on the bottom there. 11 interceptions with the Jaguars. That's a lot for a linebacker.
He was really knocked in his last year and a half for pass coverage.
Which is fair, because he started kind of slowing down a little bit.
And he recognized that as a football player, and that's partially why he retired.
Yeah.
But the guy, for the majority of his career, especially the time he spent in Jacksonville outside of probably the last year and a half, outstanding pass coverage. The guy, like Eric said, 11 interceptions for a linebacker? That's outrageous.
Unheard of, especially a middle linebacker. Usually the outside guys will
Outside
get the
guys are more prone to that sort of thing.
This is the dude in the middle. This is the Mike, the leader. And that's another piece of the equation there. He was the leader on that defense, especially in the shit years.
He knew where everyone needed to be, and he got them there.
Yes.
And you know what? I'm glad that his last year was a trip to the AFC Championship game. He won 2 playoff games in his last year.
Yep.
2 more than he'd won ever.
At all.
That was his first winning season ever. Which is, I feel so bad about, because I feel like we owed him so much more.
I know. I wish we had at least made it to the Super Bowl that year. We didn't have to win the damn thing.
But if we made it,
shoot, man.
I feel like we owed that to him.
Yeah,
we really did.
I agree.
I'll go into I talked about memories before this. But,
yeah, go ahead. No. No, we asked about memories to start things off. I don't have a ton of memories with these guys, but I know you did.
Yeah, my favorite Paul, I mean, I met the guy, but that's not my favorite memory. My favorite Paul memory is probably going to be the Seattle game in 2007, where Telvin had a concussion and was out and couldn't play. So they stuck.
2017, you mean?
2017. Sorry. Yeah. So they stuck Miles at weak side linebacker to cover for Telvin.
Yep.
And Paul got a lot more playing time than he'd been getting that entire season.
Yep.
And he had a game.
Yep.
Like one of my favorite moments in that entire game was I think Russell Wilson threw a screen in the backfield to one of the backs, and he just came like a lightning bolt and drilled him and threw him down. And I'm like, that's my guy, man. That's my guy.
That game in general was, and I remember I had to work that night, but it was on Fox, so I could stream the game while I was at the desk. And I remember watching that game, and I've never been so hyped watching a Jaguars football game. Just because we were in the teal jerseys, we were playing against the stupid Seahawks, which everybody gives way too much credit for.
We were both 7-4 too.
Yes, and I like Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is a great quarterback, one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league right now. However, his team is garbage. His whole team is garbage. That defense, the backs, everything, garbage. He is the one that makes that team. So
sorry, I'm just avoiding Baxter.
We're just shutting the door real quick. All right.
Anyways, continuing.
No, and we'll see that now, with the NFC West starting to get better, especially with the Rams and who else is in that? The 49ers are in that division. We'll see the 49ers get better this season. I don't think you'll see the Seahawks look as good as they have.
No, they're slipping.
In recent memory.
They're slipping a little bit, and we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
And again, just going back to the memory, like that was, I remember that game, and I remember watching it, and I remember Keelan Cole catching a deep one in the back of the end zone,
dude.
That
was when Keelan Cole was like,
a great game.
We were like, Keelan Cole, Kentucky Wesleyan?
He'll rebound.
Like, damn, man.
He'll rebound. He'll be okay.
I think he will. Mm-hmm. Well, like I said, 2 of my favorite players in a row.
Here we go. Top 10, baby. Top 10.
Top 10. Number 10.
Numero.
as soon as I tell you who it is, I'm gonna play this audio.
Yes.
Just because I feel like
Please,
if you
I'm gonna get so hyped up.
when anybody thinks of this guy, this is probably
I'm gonna
what they
run
think
through
of.
your damn door,
Right?
man. It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
Oh,
So
man.
number 10, we got Big John. Big John.
So ready.
Big John. Big Bad John.
Is to clear your mind.
This is Jack Del Rio talking now.
Play with courage.
You got hosed.
Oh, Joe, that ain't even good enough. Come on, Joe. Thank you, baby. Thank you. Make blood come.
Let's go.
That's what I'm talking about, baby. You gotta make blood come to the mouth. You can't just smack me and don't hit me hard. That's bullshit. When you hit me,
That's my
Through a black wall. Let's go, baby.
that's my dude, man.
Oh, Jesus.
So Big John, if a lot of you don't know,
man.
and I doubt that a lot of you don't know, is very
Golly.
famous for before games he would have one of the equipment guys slap him in the face, and that was his thing, man.
That was how we got hyped up. Dude, country boy coming out of UT, man. UT Knox. And, yo, big dude. 9th overall pick in the 0-2 draft. And one of the best draft picks we ever had. Because, good
Oh,
God.
100%.
Oh, man. Like I said, this guy, I just want to run through a brick wall every time I see any of those clips where the equipment guy is just slapping the shit out of him. I'm like, let's freaking go.
Let's go.
Give me a
Big
helmet,
John.
give me shoulder pads. We're going to freaking go.
Big Bad John.
Woo!
I also missed that when they would play that in the stadium when he'd get a sack.
Oh, man. Yeah, no kidding.
Big John.
Can we also go back to like having like different areas of the stadium named after our guys? Because like we don't have that anymore, do we?
No, we really don't.
Which is lame.
Yeah,
like every other stadium out there.
We have the Bud Light Party Zone.
Well, that's also true. But
Does that count? Does that count?
I mean, probably not.
Yeah. But you know what goes really good with Big John? Number 9.
Oh, yes.
His
Big number
compadre.
99.
His compadre in action.
Woo!
Marcus Stroud.
Drafted the year before. 2001, the 13th pick overall. We were still garbage at that point in time.
Came from Tennessee?
No, that's John Henderson. I
Oh, that's
forget
right.
where
Yeah,
Marcus
because
Stroud
it was
came
John Henderson and Albert Hainsworth played next to each other, in case anybody wants to know that.
from.
I'm just saying.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
That's
I'm
a
gonna
crazy
look up where
thought.
Marcus Stroud is from.
Marcus Stroud, man. Selected in the first round, 13th overall, 2001 NFL draft. That was a down year for the Jags, sorry.
Georgia.
Georgia.
University of Georgia.
How about them dogs?
Woo!
Hey, that's what's up. That's what's up. Played in all 16 games the first 5 seasons, and Jacksonville had 3 consecutive Pro Bowl appearances, 2003 to 2005.
Because the dude was nuts.
Nuts. What's that last one say, Eric?
Totaled 274 tackles, 22 sacks. 22, the double deuce, 22 sacks for an interior lineman. That doesn't happen.
That unless you're Aaron Donald, that doesn't really happen.
Doesn't happen. He was Aaron, and that's what they touched on in the video. Actually, he was Aaron Donald before
He
Aaron
was
Donald.
the Aaron Donald of the time.
Yes,
He really was,
Yes.
considering like how the NFL was at the time. Marcus Stroud, the Aaron Donald of the time, man.
so good. 23 passes defended, which is another big number for an interior guy.
Absolutely.
Like that doesn't happen.
Playing 3 technique on a 4-3 defense. That's
7 seasons,
impressive.
100 games with the Jaguars, 100.
I miss that guy. I would take John Henderson and Marcus Stroud at their peak back in a heartbeat. Even though, let me throw this out there for you. Let me throw this out. So, what do you think about, we got Marcel Darius
Yep.
and, boy, who's going to play the big nose this year? Is that going to be Darius?
Has to be Darius.
So Marcel Darius and Avery Jones, I mean, they got a
We
lot
don't
of...
have anybody bigger. I mean, Avery Jones is big. But
I'm,
he's not Marshall Darius.
I'm not thinking about friggin' Mongo freaking Taven Bryan.
No.
Yeah, I don't expect anything out of the guy. They wasted a first-round pick last year. That's all I'm saying.
They did. They probably could have got him in the 3rd round, honestly. And
Yeah.
It would have been okay.
So the best cornerback in Jacksonville Jaguars history that's currently not playing anymore. Let me put it that way.
Yes. True.
We got the guy, I like to call him the Steelers killer, if I'm being honest.
Oh, yeah. And you're not wrong.
What's that guy's name, Eric? I forget.
That's our boy, Rasheem Mathis.
boy.
Coming in at the Ocho. ESPN 8, the Ocho.
Let's go. I just dabbed on him. I'm sorry.
So we're gonna have to move that.
Yeah, I dabbed on him. Sorry.
No, down the road at Bethune-Cookman. Another one. Bethune-Cookman. No one comes out of there.
Hey,
Georgia Tech, Bethune-Cookman, Alcorn State. Like, no one comes out of there.
That's it, man. Shout out to Big Dre Day. By the way, so Dre, one of my guys, man, was a marching Wildcat at Bethune-Cookman.
Oh, okay, all right.
So Rasheem Mathis,
dude,
man.
they don't mess around.
They don't
man.
play, dude.
They don't mess
They
around
did
when it
some
comes to
Jags
their bands,
halftimes
man.
a couple times.
Ooh.
That's my guy.
Ooh.
Dre, if you listen to this at all, man, you're the dude.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, 39th overall in the second round in the 03 draft. So again, 01, 02, 03. We got three of the biggest cornerstones in Jaguars history.
Oh, yeah.
And they weren't all in the first round, by the way.
And you know what's sad is Tom Coughlin was on to something. He was on to something.
Yep.
But they cut it short.
That Spidey sense, man.
They cut it short. I feel bad because Wayne Weaver kind of said, scapegoat, we're kicking you out the door.
Yeah.
Jack Del Rio came in. And I love Jack. Don't get me wrong. I love Jack.
Well, to be fair, Jack was another scapegoat towards the end of his tenure. Like,
He was.
He shouldn't have ever been fired. Or at least not at the point that he did.
No, Wayne Weaver, I think, got a little cheap and scared towards the end of his tenure in Jacksonville. And
because he went to Detroit, and he was still looking good. Still looking good.
He was.
Probably could have played one or two more seasons.
He played up there 2 years, and he played longer than that, man. He played longer than that.
He did.
And he was still really good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like he could have played a little bit longer with us, but yeah, he's our franchise record holder for interceptions, 30, interceptions, return yards, 512.
That's pretty darn good.
And total takeaways, which is 30.
If you could have a receiver have 30 catches for how much? 512.
512.
Would you take that?
Yeah, of course.
Fuck yeah.
I was about to say, he'd be a good slot receiver. That is a cornerback, people. That was a corner. They don't do that.
Double that. 60 catches
they
for
play defense 'cause they can't freaking
over
catch.
1,000 yards is still pretty good.
Right?
Right?
God.
It really is.
Oh, man.
I'm down for it.
I wish we had a God damn it. Oh, we're getting into the good stuff, man. The top 10. Like, this is the good stuff.
Do you know where we are right now?
Oh, we're current wide receivers coach right here, Mr. Keenan McCardell.
Duval! Yeah, listen, he's still rooting for the Jags, man. Keenan.
He's currently wearing that Jags gear, man.
He is. He's the wide receivers coach for the Jacksonville Jaguars at this moment. Takes very good pride in it. Tom Coughlin, one of his guys. And you know what? If the receivers come out and have a good year this year, personally, I think that they will. They probably will. We'll see how it goes. A lot of people don't like the receivers, but we'll see. So, anyway,
carry on.
Just trying to slide that under the radar.
Yep.
I think that we're in for something special, and I think that Keenan was a special guy. Keenan was a just master. Keenan McCardell. 6 seasons with the Jags, 499 receptions, 6,393 yards, 30 touchdowns, second in all three categories in team history. Second only to one guy that we'll talk about just a little bit later in this countdown.
Yeah, we sure will. And man, Thunder and Lightning, man. Those were the two guys, best receivers we ever had. And, he was one of those guys. And I'm not sure why they said he played 11 years with New Orleans and Jacksonville. I think he played in New Orleans prior, but he definitely played in Tampa after.
Yeah, he played in Tampa and won himself a Super Bowl.
Yeah, so I'm not sure where the Jaguars are kind of looking with that. But, sorry,
just a little something.
But, dude, almost 500 receptions in 6 seasons, over 6,000 yards. So he averaged 1,000 yards a season with us. He averaged that. And then he had 30 touchdowns on top of that.
So, Eric, let me ask you a question, man. Do you remember what it was like to have 2,000-yard receivers?
No!
Much less one.
Hell no!
Much less one. Well, no. Hold up. Alan Hearns and Allen Robinson in 2015.
Okay, that was the closest thing we had. And
2015.
we let them both go.
Yeah.
We let them both go.
I know.
And even when Allen Hearns got cut because he wanted too much money, we still just let him go down south to the freaking Dolphins.
It burns the nostrils.
Dude, why do you smell it, man? Just freaking take it like a champ, dude.
It smelled good, though. It smelled good. It's true. It's true.
But yeah, like, what the hell was that, man? Like, we could have... I even texted you as soon as I saw he was released by the Cowboys. I was like, yo, we bring him back?
And there were some rumors, too, that could happen. But
I wish we did.
Slightly bummed out it didn't.
I wish we did. Oh, man, this guy. This guy coming up.
One of the best Jacksonville Jaguars defensive ends of all time. I want y'all to give it up for Tony Brackens. That's my guy, man.
Coming in at number 6, man. Number 6. We're almost into the top 5. And, oh, man, we got some good stuff at the top 5.
Selected by the Jags, 33rd overall in the 1996 NFL Draft. First pick of the second round.
Another pick in that fabled 96 season. And along with Kevin Hardy, man.
He retired a little early, you know.
And only 8 seasons, which is crazy. But, you know, I remember growing up, my mom said that she didn't like Tony Brackens. I don't know why. To this day, I don't know why.
He was the dude, man.
But
he's a rancher through and through.
Right. Like, he was from Texas. He was a rancher.
Yeah, he lives there now.
Yes.
Yeah, he lives there now. He literally retired and went and bought a ranch and a bunch of livestock, and that's what he does.
Dude, and kudos to him, man. Like, that would be how I wanted to live my life. Shoot, man. Out, just secluded from everybody. Like, I'd shoot.
Living that,
I hate people.
Living that cowboy life, man.
Y'all
living that
love
cowboy
you
life. Steve, I see you, brother.
But, no, he posted that a while ago.
Did he? Oh, I'm sorry.
I
I wasn't paying attention. But the answer is yes.
We got 3 strong, by the way. 3 strong watching right now. Shout out to all 3 of you.
That's all we need, man. We don't need anybody. We'd be sitting here having this conversation anyway.
Dude, we're doing this for free, man. We're just doing this out of our own free will, just making sure we're having a good time.
That's all it is.
You know, whatever. Smack the bottle for us. Those 3 people, smack the bottle. And then we'll take a shot.
And then we'll take a sip.
Delicious. Anyway, getting back to my boy, Tony Brackens, TB. 8 seasons. These are crazy numbers. I'm not... Okay, you agree. These are crazy numbers, right?
Listen, I already told you.
We're going to go back. So, 8 seasons, 55 sacks. 55. That's an incredible number. Even for a defensive.
Pretty doggone good, man.
Pretty good. 28 forced fumbles.
Wow.
And of those 28, he recovered 13 of them. Like, those are all franchise records.
Wow.
Every single one of them. Like, it just blows the mind. Like, there's guys that we have on the defense that honestly might not be with us much longer.
Yeah, man, I don't think so.
Where you're kind of looking at it and you're like, man, like, we won't see anything like that. And that's why they're doing this top 25 of the Jaguars players in 25 seasons, because we may not see these guys ever again, kind of thing.
Right.
These type of guys we may not see. So just relish in the fact that we have had them on our roster at one point in time, and we'll kind of go on.
Which is wild, man. It's
no
wild. I feel like we take for granted some things that we have at some points, and we don't really. And when we don't see it again, we get angry about it, or we ask why, or you know. And
honestly,
this is one of those things.
Jaguars fans are a lot like Madden fans, I feel.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Like, you kind of just look at the comments and things like that, and you're just like, why are you acting like this?
Where have you been?
Right. Like,
have you been here?
Cade and I have been talking about this a lot, and honestly, Madden 20 is a good game. But we both played the demo a little bit, the beta version of it, the EA Access version of it. It's much better than 19. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination.
Good God, no.
It's a good game. It is a good game. But shoot, you would never know it by any of the comments that you have. It's the same thing with the Jaguars. You're looking at it and you're like, God, have we ever seen success ever? Because the way these people are acting, like, we have never even sniffed the playoffs, never even sniffed the Super Bowls, let alone 3 times we've sniffed the Super Bowl at this point.
Yep.
Like, holy hell. Like, what are y'all expecting at this point? Like, I get it. You want to see a good football team, but we've got one on the field right now. It's just a matter of time. Ugh. Sorry, we're on a mini rant there, but
no, I'm with you, my dude.
That's basically where I'm at this point. Like, I don't know what to say with our current stat, and that's with all teams for the most part. Like, shoot, I follow the Orlando Magic. They're the same thing.
They're one of the most frustrating franchises in all of professional sports.
All of professional sports. Yeah.
If I'm going to throw that out there. So.
Yeah, true story.
We're going to move on to lighter notes here.
So we're in the top 5 now, though.
Number 5.
Ah, man. Greatest quarterback we've ever had.
I would have to agree with that.
Greatest trade we've ever made.
I would also agree with that.
Yes.
The lefty, Mark Bruno. Hey, man. Some crazy stats here.
The true numero ocho.
Yeah.
And, go ahead and dive into those stats, man. Go ahead.
Brother, 117 of his 120 games played, he started and completed 2,184 of his 3,616 passes.
I'm going to do the math on that real quick. I'm going to do the math
Give
on that.
me a completion percentage.
I'm going to do that. Hold on.
He's giving it to me. Before I finish this, he's going to give me a completion percentage.
That's a 60% completion rate. 60% completion for his career.
Better than Blake Bortles.
Jaguars career.
Career. 25,698 yards with 144 touchdowns. Still ranking as the Jaguars' career records, man. Career records. He was voted AFC Pro Bowl squad 3 times and was named the game's MVP in 1997.
He should have been.
That's pretty doggone good, right?
Should have been.
Posted a winning record as a starter and led the Jaguars to 4 playoff berths, 8 postseason games, and 2 appearances in the AFC Championship game. And he's the 5th member inducted into the Pride of the Jaguars.
Yes, sir.
Mark
Yes,
Brunell.
sir. All of it, 100% deserved. And he is the head football coach at the Episcopal School of Jacksonville.
He sure is. He sure is.
So, any of y'all in Jacksonville right now, go check out some football. Dude, we should go and check out some Episcopal football games. We need to do that.
I'm not against it. I'm not against it.
We need to go do that sometime. We need to check out some of the Orlando stuff because, like, we've got some good teams in Orlando too.
We do, man.
I mean, I know Olympia is really good.
Olympia's good. DP is usually competitive.
West Orange is really
West
good.
Orange,
too.
yeah.
Yep. They're over in Winter Garden.
Yeah, we got to check that out.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
We'll go some Friday Night Lights.
I'll do that before.
We'll maybe do some remote stuff from Friday Night Lights. How about that?
Hey.
Anyway, but no. Marky Mark. I told you this. Mama,
know.
you made the mistake.
I
I know exactly where our Tackle Tool Mark Brunell jerseys are. I'm going to steal one of those. Mark Brunell, the greatest quarterback we've ever had, the greatest trade we have ever pulled off, certainly better than a 3rd and a 5th round pick that we traded to the freaking Packers for him.
Oh, my God, yeah.
And,
3rd and a 5th? Get out of here.
Yeah, nah. We got the steal.
We did.
And, man, just the best quarterback. By the way, the picture that they got of him, I miss those italicized numbers, man. With the black piping down the side.
That was one of Eric's favorite.
I love it. I miss it. I need it back in my life. I don't want the plain Jane numbers. Like give me.
I'm a little bit of a homer for the block numbers from the 95-96 seasons. I'm sorry.
Do you know Duval Jesus? Who Duval Jesus?
I don't know, but
I don't know. But hey, shout out to Duval Jesus, man. Hey, what's going on?
What's up, brother?
Man? Welcome in. We got 5 strong now, man. We're freaking famous. YouTube famous now.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Duval Jesus, welcome in, brother. Whatever questions you got, man, hit us up. This is a questioning zone. You got
like
questions?
question and answers, man. We just bullshit on here. So we'll any questions, anybody.
That's pretty much all we do.
Yeah.
100%. Brother, do you know who number 4 is?
Dude, number 4, and arguably he's probably my favorite running back. And I know that's gonna be. Don't at me on that, but that's our boy, Maurice Jones. Drew.
That was well timed, actually.
Absolutely. 2nd round draft pick in 2006, and the reason he wore number 32 because he wore 21 in college, and I believe he did in high school as well.
He did. He was Maurice Jones, or he was just Maurice Drew at the time.
Maurice Drew. Yeah, you're absolutely right. He added his father's name.
Grandfather.
Was it grandfather?
It was.
Grandfather's name. I'm sorry.
Sorry,
later on. But 32 teams passed on him, including the Jaguars.
Yeah.
And he was asked.
That wasn't bitter.
He was asked at one point in time, so the 32, you've got a little chip on your shoulder then, right? And he responded, "Nah, man, I got a can of Pringles on my shoulder." And that was his response in an interview with one of the Jacksonville media. I can't remember who it was. But you're like, dude, this guy, and he ran that way. Like, every time you watched him run, you're like, dude, this guy is going to kill someone with the way he runs. 5'7". He's 5'7". He's like way down here.
And he
way
made it
down
happen.
here.
He got lost.
Yeah.
One of my favorite memories still was a Patriots game when he ran in the back of one of his own players, fell down, and nobody touched him. He got up and ran for a touchdown.
No one even knew.
But that was Mojo. That was Mojo, man.
Yeah, no one even knew, and sure enough, like everyone was just like, whatever, he's down, right? Nope, just kidding, he's taking it to the house. Bye.
Bye. So Mojo was number 3.
Yep.
No,
Mojo was number 4.
Number 4.
Yes.
Jimmy Smith has been officially announced as number 3.
Yes, and we'll have to get some stats pulled up because we don't have that in front of us just yet.
Let me refresh and see if they got anything.
Yeah, all right. I'll do.
They
Do
don't.
Wikipedia.
Don't have any official stats on here yet.
I'll do Wikipedia real quick.
Ooh, let's see.
There we go.
Haven't made a video in years. Top 5 are
Here
Fred,
we go. Here
Jimmy,
we go.
MJD, Mathis. Ooh, I like it. Okay.
Career. Ooh, okay. Haven't made a video in years. Okay.
But where's Baselli? Where's Baselli,
Yeah,
man?
where's Baselli
You can't
at?
leave Baselli out, man. That's the dude right there.
Yeah. While he's pulling that up, 862 receptions, 12,287 yards, 67 touchdowns in his career.
Absolutely.
Like, the dude is the GOAT. And it was funny. I was watching, I think it was Pete Prisco that they were interviewing in his video. And they were talking about, best wide receivers. Never seen him. It's personal. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
That's cool, man. That's totally cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to recommend, look up some Tony from anywhere from 95 to 99. Look up some Tony. Tony Baselli, do yourself a favor. Best offensive lineman to ever play in the NFL. I'm not even going to lie to you.
100% agree.
During that time span. After that, I don't know.
Yes. But, Jimmy was originally selected as a second-round pick by the Cowboys in 92.
Yep, I remember that.
They cut his ass after a couple seasons because he just wasn't performing. Went to the practice squad for the Eagles. They didn't want him either. We signed him off their practice squad in 95. After it was a tryout. Basically. Oh, I'm sorry. They released him in Philly, and then we signed him after a tryout in 95, which was our inaugural season.
Do you remember the book that his mom made for him to give to Coach Coughlin?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I remember seeing that on a Football Life.
Yeah.
And that book, oh man, if you haven't seen Jimmy Smith's and Keenan McCardell's in Football Life, go ahead and check it out.
Thunder and Lightning.
Thunder and Lightning. It's oh god, it's such a good one. One of the better ones that's out there, and also one of the only ones that's about a Jaguar. So
it is.
Just
Hey, when was the last year they won the Super Bowl in Dallas? In the 90s.
95, actually, I believe.
You know what, Duval? Jesus, I don't know. I don't know, my man.
I don't think he did.
I want to say no, too.
I don't think
I
he
think
did.
he was not on the team during the last years that they won.
Yeah. I think it was 95 was the last one that the Cowboys went to, and they beat the Bills.
And he was on the team 92, 93?
92, 93.
Yes, and
right.
they did not win the Super Bowl in those years.
No,
He got screwed out of that one. And he got screwed out of the fact that we couldn't get over the Titans in 99.
Yeah.
But, I'm not bitter.
No! But we are.
I'm not.
But we are.
Anyways.
No, just look. You look at this guy, and I take that back. 2-time Super Bowl champion. I'm looking at it right now. It was when the Cowboys.
He sure did.
Yeah.
Keenan McCardell 1-1 with Tampa.
Cowboys beat the no.
Oh, I know he
Jimmy
was.
Smith.
No, he was asking questions.
Beat the beat the Bills 2-17. Super Bowl 27, and then Super Bowl 28. He was on that team as well. Where they beat the Bills 30-13. So he's got 2 Super Bowl rings, technically.
So Jimmy Smith technically has 2. So you're right. You're right, my dude.
Yeah.
2 Super Bowl rings.
I totally forgot about that.
And you are correct that Keenan McCardell did win one with Tampa as well.
Which he deserved it. And also, which we didn't touch on this before, but Mark Brunell
won one with New Orleans.
He was the backup quarterback to Drew Brees in New Orleans.
He sure was.
Well deserved as well.
So when I was living in Louisiana at the time, and I told my buddy that he was a big Saints fan, I said, hey, wouldn't it be funny if Drew Brees got hurt and Mark Brunell came in and won the Saints Super Bowl?
Oh man, it sure would have. I would have rooted for him at that point, but
I know.
honestly, I didn't want New Orleans to win just because there was just so much hype around them for
I know.
Katrina and everything. I was just like,
I wanted him to win.
Stop.
I wanted him to win. Well, I was living in Louisiana too,
which is fair. And, you're a homer at that point, so Byron with Pittsburgh. I don't.
Unfortunately, the answer to that is yes.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Really?
And you know what? Now he is a offensive coordinator with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so he's never going to win a Super Bowl ever again in his life.
No, sucks.
I'm just kidding. My buddy's Brandon's a Tampa Bay Bucs fan.
He's gonna kill us for that. He's gonna kill us for that.
Sorry, big dog. Sorry, big dog. So Eric, let me ask you this. So we got 2 spots left. We got number 2. We got number 1. I think they're both pretty obvious.
Yes, I believe so as well.
So
number 2, we'll go Fred Taylor.
Fred Taylor.
Fred Taylor at the University of Florida.
1998 draft pick that we got from the Bills for Rob Johnson.
Yep.
And drafted Fred Taylor.
Well worth it.
Boy, yeah, that worked out nicely.
Well worth it. I'd say second best trade. Second best trade we've ever had in franchise history.
I'm going to interrupt you for just a second. So Duval Jesus says, what's
Go
y'all's
ahead,
most
lay it
hated
on
team?
him.
I feel like if you say anything other than the Tennessee Titans, then you're wrong. Because
we'll even specify it to a year. Oh no, don't say that.
Also, no.
We'll even specify it to a year before we get to that. Before we get to that comment,
no.
We'll even specify it to a year. The '99 Titans.
Oh my God.
Were the absolute worst.
I hate all Titans, but he's right. 99 Titans.
No, 99. They can go to fuck a goat.
Yeah, if I could break somebody's ankle on that team, it would probably be between Greg Williams and Steve McNair.
Yep. Probably.
Well, you know what though? I'm okay with this choice of the Steelers.
The Steelers, that's okay.
That's gonna be. It's in my. It's in my top 3. It's in my top 3. It's in my top 3.
That's a good secondary, but no, can't, no, go Gators.
Yeah.
Sorry, FSU grad.
I'm not even.
Can't do the go Gators.
He's an FSU grad. I'm not. I didn't even go to college, and I'm not even a college football fan really. But man, I just don't like the Gators.
No, nobody likes.
Sorry, big dog.
Sorry, man.
If you play Madden 20, they let you choose who you want to play against in the college football final, and I chose the Gators.
You can do that, yeah. Absolutely. I played against the Gators in the semifinals just because I wanted to beat that ass.
Yeah, it was one of them things.
Sorry, man.
So we're fully assuming that the final 2 picks are going to be Fred Taylor and Tony Baselli.
Yep.
And we'll just have to discuss that a little bit further next time we get together with you.
Absolutely.
The plan to get together with you next is going to be after the 3rd preseason game, and we'll do our regular season primer.
Yes,
and then
we'll probably go through the schedule at that point since we've definitely gone through quite a bit here.
Yeah, we have, and
we'll go through the regular season at that point and do our predictions
and we will
see where we're at,
and it'll be fun.
Okay, any final thoughts before we let the people go?
Dude, I'm just happy about football.
Oh, dude, football's back, man.
I'm happy.
Dude, we got the Hall of Fame game coming up in days. At
Thursday.
Yes, days.
You know what? And it's football, so I'll watch a little bit.
Absolutely. Al Michaels going to be on the call, even though Chris Collinsworth and his stupid ass is there. Al Michaels
it is what it is.
So, yeah, I'll take that.
I'm down for it.
You believe in miracles? Yes.
Get up, come on down with the sickness.
Hey.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm excited for football. I'm excited it's here. Next episode, the plan is to have a regular season primer.
Yep.
I'm just gonna throw this out here now.
Oh yeah, Tyreek Hill definitely went down. The old child beater himself went down today.
He did. You
know, karma's a bitch. Watch out for that hoe.
Yeah, bless his heart. I'm excited for football. Preemptively, let me tell you.
Yeah, go ahead.
There will be more information posted on this on the Facebook page. Please pay attention. If you would like to be involved, it will be the first few people who join. I'm going to post a link. Join it up as soon as you can. The link will be posted 2 days from now. We are doing the first annual Jags and Jack Fantasy Football League. It will be a PPR league. If you do not know what that is, please do your research.
Yes.
It will be lots of fun. So that's the plan. It's going to be an 8-person league. We're just going to do that for the first year. There's no money involved or anything like that.
No. So you don't have to worry about that. No buy-in, no nothing like that. Just for fun.
Strictly for fun. You just your only homework is to be on the lookout. As soon as I post the link, if you're interested at all, try to be one of the first people to go ahead and click on that link and join the league.
Absolutely.
And we'll have a good time. The draft, I am planning on scheduling for preseason week 4. I don't know exactly which day it's going to be that week.
We'll figure that out. But yeah,
Logistics.
you got to do it after the preseason because otherwise you don't know.
Yeah, don't do it before week 3.
Marquise Lee is going to go down in the preseason. It's going to suck.
No. Week 3 of the preseason, Marquise Lee going down. We don't want any of that.
Yeah, no.
So be on the lookout. That will be created and that will be posted within the next couple of days.
Yes.
Should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, dude, looking forward to it.
Looking forward to it, man.
My best friend, Kay Stevens. This is Eric Vincent. Cheers, y'all.
Cheers.
Thanks for tuning in to Jags and Jack. We'll see y'all next time. Deuces.